Esse domingo. Ai, não. বিনয়, হ্যালো, হ্যাঁ, yes. Okay, we're checking. We're on the check. We are checking, huh? Okay, so we're on the check. Let's check.
স্যার এটা আমার জিমেল থেকে খোলা আছে।
বস,
এটা সত্যি জানি তো?
তথ্য এটা অন করে চাইছি একটু এটা গুড ইভিনিং গুড ইভিনিং
Good evening, sir.
গুড ইভিনিং ইজ ইট ক্লিয়ার ভয়েস ইজ ক্লিয়ার আই থিঙ্ক
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The voice is clear.
থ্যাংক ইউ okay let us wait for the people to join okay
Yes, sir. So, can you share the screen and check if there is no issue?
sure please share the screen next
এটা দিয়ে দেখি
next
আপনি ওই WhatsApp Okay, so there is no issue, sir.
fine thank you
It is the slides are changing. So you can come to the first slide first.
okay
So we'll start at 6 p.m. sharp. Good evening, everyone. We warmly welcome you all to the third day of Atal's virtual faculty development program on Green Horizon. Thank you for your enthusiastic participation as we continue with this academic journey together. Our first session today, we welcome Mr. Surojit Kumar Dotto, Managing Director of Tatcon Consultant and Engineers Private Limited. Mr. Surojit Dotto, sir, is an accomplished industrial professional with over 25 years of experience in the engineering sector. As the Managing Director of Tatcon Consultant and Engineering Private Limited, he has been driving excellence since 2002, specializing in health monitoring, failure analysis through NDT, mechanical and civil, retrofitting, restructuring, and end-to-end project execution. A graduate in metallurgical engineering from Jadavpur University, he brings deep technical expertise and proven leadership to every project. So we warmly welcome Mr. Surojit Kumar Dotto, sir, and he'll speak today on Towards a Green Economy, interdisciplinary strategies for pollution reduction and sustainable energy transition. We now hand over the session to Dotto, sir. Sir, please.
Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Good evening for the nice introductions. So let us just divide our talk into two parts. Actually, unfortunately, I am not so well today. First, I am trying to introduce the subject. Then, so far the presentation is concerned, my junior will represent that one. I'll be with you. Okay, whatever question you have, you can ask. First thing, we are talking about green economy. What exactly we mean? Actually, this is not a Indian perspective. It is a global issue. These days, everybody in the world leaders are concerned about reduction of pollution. Now, in the name of reduction of pollution, what we are doing, whether we are going in the right direction or not.
I will request all the participants to kindly mute so that there is no disruption during the session. So you can proceed, sir. There's a connectivity issue from our speaker side. So I would kindly request all the participants to wait till the speaker rejoins.
Some technical error there, sorry. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we are talking about, steel industry. Whatever emission, carbon emission is there in the steel industry, people are in R&D centers of different steel industry are thinking of a hydrogen injection. Already in pilot project, people are doing in Sweden also doing iron to reduce the carbon emission. But if you can see the carbon emission from automobile, from vehicles on streets, it is literally 7 times more than the carbon emission in the steel plant. So we are not taking care of that. Now people will say, yes, we are taking care of that thing. In place of fuel, we are using EV. What are you using in EV? We are using lead battery, lithium battery. In the production of lithium battery, carbon emission is also high. So we have to approach the legitimate thing to reduce the cost also. We are, wasting a lot of money in the pollution reduction. Now I'm coming to the economy. In economy zone, in the Modi government, we are calling about Make in India. We are doing so many things. So if we can produce something by our own, the economy can be enriched. So whatever product is dumped in India from China and abroad, these are creating pollution. We are to think about the measure to reduce this. Now, coming to the interdisciplinary things, since I am from metallurgical, core metallurgical, I am talking about steel industry. Now I am into shifting into in civil engineering. Suppose we have a chimney, high chimney. After in a long use, what we will do? We just destroy it and make a new one. The debris, really creating a lot of pollution. So in new technique, we are talking about retrofitting. We can enhancing the health by so many chemical treatment and this thing. The particular what you call aging what you call infrastructure like bridges and silos or chimneys can be relight, enhanced light with less pollution, production loss at this thing. Now coming to the other field also, in mechanical thing also, without using gas arc welding and other welding, if we go to the laser welding, other welding where pollution will less, we have to introduce more and more pollution less welding. Welding sector, fabrication sector is also giving a lot of pollution, and also there is loss of material also. So laser may be a good option also. Other robotic fabrication is also a good one. Now may I request my assistant Ashish to present the what you call this particular slide, and in between I will explain. Okay, thank you. Ashish, please.
Good evening, everyone. Myself Ashish Datta, DGM in .com Consultant and Engineering Private Limited. Also, I work here as a structural engineer. So let us start introduction part of this topic. Before start this topic, we want to stay about that the green economy is defined as an economic system that enhance human well-being and social equity while significantly reducing environmental risks and ecological scarcities. It aims to create economical opportunities that improve social welfare without harming the natural environment. There was I just show a chart here. You can there show that climate changes is the very dangerous. Why that I want to show that chart part here, that the climate policies, social attitudes, the renewable source, and educational and awareness. And next, the main topic that our sir will define recently, that is the carbon neutrality. That will be save the carbon. So interdisciplinary strategies for pollution reduction and sustainable energy transmission address the critical need to balance the economical growth with environmental protection and social equity also in context of to the traditional economics model that deflect the resource and increases the pollution. So this will be very record when if we improve the resource efficiency and foster social inclusions, the scale and urgency of today's environmental challenge, including climate change, biodiversity loss, and resource scarcity, and required fundamental break from business as usual. So we actually we prefer, or we mainly we want to that the future generation should enjoy clean air, sufficient fresh water, and energy without risking damage to the plant. Next slide, I just show here that the climate. What is green economy? First of all, there I show that the what is green economy, that I show point to point. So this will be the first part, is that economic system that promoting the sustainable development. Let us define that what is the sustainable development. And now next stage is that reducing the environmental risks as well as ecological scarcities also. So in this point we must be focused on that is the low carbon emissions, resource efficiency, and social conclusions. So what is the green economy? Green economy is a low carbon, resource efficient, and social inclusion economy model that aims to improve human well-being and social equity while significantly reducing the environmental risks and ecological scarcities also. Actually, it promotes sustainable development by shifting the away from resource intensive industries toward the cleaner technologies and practices such as renewable and circular economy principles that ensuring that natural resource that are the preserved from future generations. At that case, the main key characters for this green economy is that, first of all, I say that the low carbon, that focus on reducing greenhouse gas emissions and pollution. Nowadays, this greenhouse gas is very critical thing, and the weather changes day by day due to cause of greenhouse gases. And next topic is resource efficient. Priorities the efficient use of energy and natural resources and emphasis reducing waste. Then socially inclusions aims to improve human well-being and create a more equitable society alongside environmental and economic goals. Next one is that the environmentally sustainable. That will be the protective biodiversity and ecosystem services and ensuring that economic growth does not degrade the environment. So now I want to say that how it works. In a green economy fosters growth and job creations through public and private investment in sustainable activities, infrastructure, and assets. This can involves investigation in green infrastructure, promoting circular economy model that encouraging reuse, repair, and recycling of resources to reducing the water waste and consumption. Next is the implementing the policy reforms. That is the utilization targeted public expenditures, policies changes, and incentives like subsidies or updated taxation to guide businesses toward environmental responsibilities practices. Here, I just show that the key component of the sustainable development. Before start this part, I want to say that the definition of the sustainable development. What is the sustainable development? That is a global approach to meeting current human needs without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs, balancing economical growth and the social equity and environmental protection in the process. It involves making choices and implementing practices that preserves natural resource, promote fair opportunities for all people, and foster long-term economic viability.
So,
So, sir, explain this
actually,
topic.
in this actually case, if we really try to explain the sustainability in a different way, we are talking about pollution control and this thing. So what should I do? Actually, you see, some people have got 4 members in his family. Okay. So everybody has one car and each of them are going by a single car. Because everybody is in urgency. Everybody is going by a single car and every car is emitting carbon dioxide. And this carbon dioxide is responsible for global warming. As you know, data shows that atmospheric temperature 1.5 degree warmer than the 20th century. Every year, temperature is rising. It really, destroys the ecological balance. So what do you know? We are, depending on the planning commission and government authority to do the planning. We ourselves, can't we switch off the light or fan when we are not in the house, not in the room? So that will also reduce the carbon emission and lessen the global warming phenomena. So each and every people should have be responsible for a sustainability, continuity. Whatever we are doing for this generation, that thing should be applicable for our next generations too. That is the purpose. So each and every people, including me and you and everybody, should be responsible for this sustainability. So thank you. So 1 second, please.
So, the key component of the sustainable development is that first one is environmental sustainability, social sustainability, and the economical sustainability. The importance of the sustainability development initiatives, there I just show a chart here that the Green New Deal, a catalyst for a green growth, a contribution to the green economy, a means of achieving the sustainable development. Very interesting things is that if we Green New Deal, that catalyst for our green growth, and when we improve the green growth, then we easily contribution to the green economy. And when we improve this green economy, it means that we can achieving easily the sustainable development. So there was the importance of sustainable development initiatives that first one is long-term benefit. Unlike short-term project that provide immediate but temporary relief, sustainable development initiative aimed for long-term benefits. Next one is that resource conservations. By focusing on the sustainable use to resource, this initiative helps and the conserves vital natural resource for future generations. Next one is that the community resilience, that is the sustainable development initiatives strengthen community resilience by addressing the root cause of the poverty and inequality. Empowerment and ownerships. These initiatives often involves the activities, participations of community members, fostering a sense of ownerships and empowerment also. Holistic approach is that the sustainable development initiatives take a holistic approach, addressing multiple interrelated issues simultaneously. There I just show that the reason of the there is I show that some pollution, that is the air pollutions, water pollutions, soil degradation, greenhouse gases emissions, and fossil fuels. Sir will discuss.
Just you explain in details. One by one.
First one is that before discuss this pollution, I want to say that what is the environmental challenge today? That today major environmental challenge, including climate damage, is that characteristic by rising global temperature, increases natural disasters, pollutions of air, water, and land, including plastic waste and acid rain, biodiversity loss due to habitat destruction and overexplosions, and resource depletions and degradations, such as deforestations and overfishings, water scarcity, and soil erosion also. This interconnected triple crisis of climate changes, pollutions, biodiversity loss are largely driven by human activity and threaten ecological systems and human well-being globally. So this climate changes initially that will be the rising the global temperature. That the key aspect of climate changes to the long-term shift in the weather pattern and rising the global temperature also. So and next one is that the if the rising the global temperature, next is that increased extreme weather. So climate included that changes to is linked to a rise in natural disasters, including floods, wildfires, and droughts also. Next is that oceans are becoming more acidic, which negatively impacts marine life. That will be very difficult now day by day. And now I just explain here that the pollution. Initially, I just explained that the air pollution. In our developing countries like India, there is the industrial growth are very rapidly, but the presence of harmful gases and particles in the air, and particular in urban and rural areas, significantly impact health. And this will be the very dangerous things nowadays. And next one is that the water pollution, that untreated the wastewater, chemicals, and other pollution that degrades the freshwater, saltwater bodies, harming the ecosystems. Next is the solid soil waste or soil degradations. That is the poor management of waste, including the plastics, contributes to pollutions and harms the environmental also. And next one is that acid rain, that will be the pollution in the atmosphere combined with rainfall to form acid rain, harming land and water also. And there also I just so that the greenhouse gas emissions and fossil fuel dependence. So day by day that we will dependent with the fossil fuels, that will very dangerous, and it will that's why greenhouse gas will increase very rapidly. Next is that just a minute. Sorry, okay. So next one is that what is the sustainable energy transmission? What is the sustainable energy transmission? The sustainable energy transition is a transformative shift in how energy is produced, distributed, and consumed, aiming to move away from fossil fuel towards a system centered on renewable energy sources such as solar, wind, hydropower, and geothermal. This shift is critical to tackling the climate crisis, as fossil fuels still provide 80% of global energy supply, releasing immense amount of planet warming gases such as carbon dioxide and methane in the process. So why does the sustainable energy transmission matter for climate action? The current energy system is a major driver of global climate changes, accounting for around 75% of total greenhouse gas emissions. As temperature break record year after year, transforming how we produce and consume energy is essential. Under the Paris Agreement, a legally binding international treaty on climate changes that countries have committed to deep, rapid, and suspended reduction in greenhouse gases emissions to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial leaves, preferably to 1.5 degrees Celsius. The world ability to meet this goal hinges on the energy sector's ability to reach the net zero emissions by 2015. We know that the Viksit Bharat 2047, that the aim is that according to this papers, we know that in 2047, around 2047, more than 80% people are shifting in the township area due to cause of industrial purpose. Main business will focus in future is that the township shift to the townships. So at that time, high-rise building like high scrapper building or high-rise building are developing and rapidly. So if we follow this type of sustainable energy transmission system, then it will be minimized in future. Sir, sustainable. Sir, I will describe about the sustainable energy transmission system.
In actually, we are here talking about sustainability. So since it is a interactive one, so if anybody has any questions, you may ask on the next of the at the latter part of the discussion. You can ask. So now I may tell that we are talking about this pollution control, reduction measure, these things. Now, fossil fuel is what he has told. Fossil fuel is responsible for this. What we should do? So much treaty has been done. So how much action has been taken, but really we have reduced the carbon emission. How far we were able to do that? Now, so many papers have been published for that. Now, it is time to think whether we are going towards a sustainable development. The developed nation like US and other, they are blaming India, being a large population, are responsible for pollution. So what they're doing, they are purchasing steels from India. They are taking the infrastructure. If they need steels, they need cement. Cement manufacturing plant also emit carbon dioxide. So for infrastructure development, for infrastructure growth, we need steel, we need cement. Both the component requires carbon emission. So we have to find out some alternate methods, alternate element, alternate process, alternate design to reduce the carbon emission for the infrastructure development. All the developed countries are much more responsible for this kind of pollution or global warming. They are blaming the developing countries like us. Whatever measures, whatever sanctions they are imposing on India and other countries, but they are purchasing this thing. We are manufacturing for them. If they are not asking them to, if they try to find out the alternate method, alternate element, alternate component, so obviously cement and steel will be less. Then obviously our pollution will be less. So far as the renewable source of energy is concerned, no. Now we are talking about solar energy and this thing. So if how much solar energy has been transformed into the replacing our energy need. So we are talking about wind. So it is not admissible in every part of the world. So wind is not so much, so that huge energy, acceptable energy will be produced for wind. So we have to think, we have to analyze this in a defined way. Next. And we are talking about other source. We are talking about precast, and green concrete. We are talking about plastic. All the we are biofuels. We are talking about from waste. We are making bricks. Whatever buildings we are making, in between the walls, those are partition walls. Can't we make by other thing without replacing this high? This will reduce by whatever waste product is there, they will be compressed. It is already used, compressed, and less less weight brick will be used. This will enhance the design and load of this particular building, as well as reduce the pollution of the society. Understand? Please. Assist.
Next, move to the point. That is the okay. So next point is that the green growth. Yeah, I just saw a table, a chart that so that the green growth system. First one is the natural assist based. Next one is policy responses. Next one is the socio-economy, quality of life, and productivity. Natural assist based is that forest resources, water resources, wildlife resource, and the atmospheric and climate. Next one is that policy resource responses. That is the technology and innovations, R&D, and patents. International financial flows, official development assistance, environmental taxes and transfers, regulations and managements. Socio-economy, there was the mainly two types. That was the social dimensions and economic dimensions. I just explain further. I just explain details. Okay. Next one is the quality of life. That is the exposure to environmental risks. Next is that access to drinking waste and sewage treatment also. And now productivity. That is the CO2 productivity, energy productivity, non-energy materials productivity, and the environmental adjustment multi-factor productivity. So let's just I explain that the what is the green growth. Green growth is an economic development strategies that will be the focused on achieving economic progress while ensuring the sustainability of natural capital and minimizing environmental impacts like pollutions and resource depletions also. It involves investing in natural assets, fostering innovations and efficiency in resource uses, and creating new sustainable economic opportunities and jobs also. The goal is to decouple economical growth from harmful environmental consequences, ensuring that future generations also benefit from healthy environmental service. There I just explain that the key aspects of the green growth. First one is that economics and environmental. First one I just explained that the economics and environmental harmony. It seeks to reconcile the needs for economic development with the imperatives of protecting the environments rather than viewing them as conflicting the goals also. Next is that resource efficiency. Resource efficiency, a core principle, is improving the efficiency of natural resources uses and reducing the waste. Innovation and investment. Green growth stimulates investment and innovations in green technologies, renewable energy, and sustainable sectors like green sorry sectors like green agriculture and forestry. Sustainability and resilience. Strategies aim for growth that is clean, resilience to natural hazards, and does not look economic into unsustainable patterns of consumptions. Inclusivity. While not inherently guaranteed, that will be the green growth policies and designed to be inclusive, that ensuring that the benefits of a cleaner economy are shared, particularly with vulnerable properties. And now I just explain that key aspect of the green economy. But why it will be matters nowadays? Why it will be matters in a day? First of all, that addressing the climate change. It is a critical tool for tackling taking climate changes and reducing associated the risks. Next one is that avoiding future cost. It prevents environmental damage and constraints on future growth that can arise from resource scarcities and pollution also. Next, avoiding the future that creating new opportunities. So easily it can create some new opportunities like that if we green growth fosters new economy activity and jobs in areas like clean energy, sustainable resource management. That's it. Now, how it is achieved? How it will be achieved? First, policy and regulations. So, government implement policies that encouraging sustainable practices such as environmental regulations and incentives for business to adopt eco-friendly operations. Next is that investment. Investment in green technologies, renewable energy, and sustainable infrastructure is a crucial driver. Third is that global cooperations. International collaboration is essential because many environmental challenges are global in nature. Pollution, that will be the reduction strategies for a green economy. Include a shift to renewable energy, that implementing the strict environmental regulations and green technologies. That will be the promoting the circular economy, principles of waste preventions and resources efficiency. That investing in sustainable urban planning and agricultures. Fostering public educational and sustainable practices and established participates for inclusive growth. The overchanging goals is to achieve economic growth that reducing the pollutions and as well as environmental risks while enhancing the resource efficiency also and the biodiversity and social equity also. So, sir will discuss remaining questions.
No, actually, in these days, so we are talking about, sustainability, waste management, and this thing. Today's mantra, a simple word, is a 4R. What is that 4R? Reduce, and then reuse, repair, and recycle. What reduce? The unnecessary thing we have to reduce. Then we have to, reuse. Whatever, we can reuse, we have to do it. Okay. Then repairing. We are not discarding. Repairing, we have to, this, then dumping will be less. Then recycle. These 4 are very important these days. Using natural resources. Sustainability reduces pollution by switching to renewable energy like solar and wind, adopting sustainable agriculture practices. These 4 R's will then minimize waste. Whenever we are aiming to reduce waste, it will reducing pollution as well as enhancing the economy. So waste management, reduction of waste, that proper planning by this 4R will enhance both that green, that is the pollution control, as well as economical growth. So we have to make ourselves self-sufficient to make these 4 R's. Okay, so wherever is required, we have to recycle. India is a land of, total, so many in upper part of in northern India, so much rivers are there. We can use the water resources for hydro projects. Still, 30 to 40% energy, hydro energy, is being used for this particular thing. So we have to have a plan to. So since initial investment is high in hydro project, but this will give running cost is less, so it will give the economical boost to the country. And then whatever for thermal energy and this thing, this will reduce the, this will enhance the product, what do you call, pollution. So water, hydro energy will reduce that. So in India, especially, wind energy is for localized one, because it is not equally important in every part of that. Solar energy is very important for Rajasthan and this part. It is not good for this part of India, eastern part of this India. So hydro energy is really applicable for India. We have to focus on this particular thing. So now we are moving to, how to harnessing this renewable energy. Solar, wind, and hydropower, we can utilize more and more. Sustainable agriculture, organic farming, we have to emphasize more and more. Just suppose I'm giving you just an example. When you go to the market, when we are, purchasing, 1 kg of, brinjal, begun, we are purchasing 1 kg from a farmer. 2 brinjals are, rotten one, a very few percent rotten one. When you bring this brinjal to the house, what is the impression of yours? People or your wife or other part, mother, will be really angry. Why you have brought this? But if you eliminate that rotten part is, not so harmful. But what we are bringing? We are bringing chemical loaded, lead loaded brinjal to home, which is very glossy. We are eating this. These are creating, cancer to our thing. So this is also, threat to the human being. So organic farming also, really, organic farming is simultaneously increasing 3 things. One is economy, other is pollution control, and also increasing the stability of people's life. So next. So Ashish, you continue. Next question.
So next, I just explain that the interdisciplinary approach towards a green economy. First one is that engineering. For engineering purpose, if we use focus for the renewable energy technologies and energy storage, if we focus in that kind of point, so it will be very helpful for interdisciplinary approach. Next is that for engineering purpose, the renewable sources is that solar, PV, wind, turbines, hydroelectric, geothermal, that's it. This engineering is a vast area. But if we apply it, it will be in proper way, that if we use the renewable energy technology, energy storage, like that, so it will be very helpful for us. Next is that economics purpose. That is the green taxations and carbon pricings. That will be the green taxation and the carbon pricing, and the carbon tax that charges emitters per tons of CO2 release. So here I just what that the green taxation. What is the meaning of the green taxation? A green tax, also known as a environmental tax, that is a very imposed on goods, services, or activities that harm the environment. The main goal is to discourage the environmentally damaging practices by making them more expensive and encouraging both individuals and business to adopt sustainable alternatives and reducing the pollutions. The revenue collected from these taxes can then be used to fund environmental project. Next one is that urban planning. Here I just saw that the two words, that the sustainable transport and green building. So what is the sustainable transport? Sustainable what is the sustainable transport? Sustainable transport is that involves mobility system that are environmentally friendly, energy efficient, and the social equitable and economically and viable, focusing on reducing greenhouse gas emissions and other negative impacts while ensuring access and safety for all. Example includes public transport, that cycling, walking, and the adoption of electric vehicle also, all of which aim to lower pollution, decreases reliance on fossil fuels, and improve the urban living and public health also. Video. Key aspect of sustainable transport. 2-3 minutes, yes. Key aspect of the sustainability transport, that the environmental impact reduction. First one is that. Second is that energy and resources efficiency. Third one is that social equity and accessibility. Fourth one is that economical viability. What is the environmental impact reduction? The primary goal is to minimize the environmental footprint of transportations, particularly by reducing the air pollutions, greenhouse gas emissions, and noise pollutions also. That will be the environmental impact reduction, that very key aspect for sustainable transport and port cases. Next one is that the energy and resource efficiency. This involves using less energy and fewer natural resources and shifting away from fossil fuel towards the renewable energy sources and efficient system also. And the social equity and accessibility is that sustainable transport ensure that the everyone, including the elderly, disabled, and underdeserved population, has access to safe, affordable, and convenient mobility options also. Here I just show that the green building. So I think everyone know about this, that what is the green building. The green building is that the structural design built and operated to be environmentally responsible and resource efficient throughout its entire life cycles, from initial planning and construction to its eventual deconstructions. This building focus on the reducing the negative environment impact and enhancing the positive benefits by minimizing energy and water uses, conserving the natural resource, and improve the indoor environmental quality for occupants. And there we can say that the key characteristics of the green building is that this is the vast area from the green building. For if we discuss about the green building aspect, this was the very vast area. But here I just discuss about the some key characteristics of the green building. First one is that efficient resource uses. They optimizes the uses of energy, water, and other resources through design and technology also. Next is that the sustainable material, that they utilize material that are non-toxic and ethically sourced, recycled, and renewable, or have a low environmental impact. Next is the waste reduction. They implement the measures to reduce the waste and promote the reuse and recycling during the construction and throughout the building's life. Healthy indoor environment They focus on good indoor air quality, avoidment, natural light, and occupant comfort, creating healthier livings and working spaces. What is the benefit of green building? If we use the green building, first benefit is that the environmental benefit. That is the very vast benefit in nowadays. That is the, if we use the green building, that reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, conservation of natural resource, and mitigation of the climate change. It will be the very required nowadays. And next is that you can say that the economical benefit. Economical benefit is that lower operational cost due to reduced energy and water consumptions. Next is that public health benefit, improved indoor air quality and enhanced comfort for occupants, which can increase the productivity. For transport, for urban planning transport, that is the mass transit system, that will be the non-motorized mobility cycling, mobility like cycling or walking, etc. And the next is that the EV infrastructure. Nowadays, it will very rapidly grow the industries that the dependable on the EV infrastructure. So next is that is the green building. Green building, that just I explain about the green building benefit, key component, each and everything. Now I just share is that what is the green building dependable for this interdisciplinary approach, that is the passive design, green roofs, and energy efficiency. And last one is that policy and governance, that focus on the climate policies and international treaties. For national policies, renewable energy mandates, emissions reductions, and target also. Just 1 minute, sir. Okay. So next, move to the next point, that is policy reduction strategies. Next topic is that the policy reduction strategies. Pollution reduction is in a green economy, focus on a circular, resource efficient and approach through strategies like investing in renewable energy, improving energy and resource efficiency, adopting the clean productions and circular economy models, and implementing the supportive regulations. And this is the green finance and public awareness campaign also. There I just show the key pollution reduction strategies with a green approach, that is the renewable energy transitions, energy efficiency improvements, clean production and circular economy, green finance and investment. Next one is sustainable agriculture. So there was just some example of green economy initiative in India. that is PM Kusum scheme that promotes the solar energy in agriculture by subsidizing solar powered irrigation pump. Next is green grid initiatives that seeks to interconnected the global solar energy that grids for enhanced renewable energy sharing. By implementing these strategies, a green economy can effectively reduce pollution, promote the sustainable development, and create the healthier environmental for all. I just saw a table that the green economy and that traditional economy. For resource uses, emphasis the sustainable uses and conservation of natural resource that in green economy. When it will be the traditional economy, often leads to over explorations and depletions of resources. Next is that economic growth. Growth is driven by investment in sustainable practices and technologies. And for traditional economies, growth is often achieved through industrial expansions and resource extension also. Next is that the social equity. Focus on social conclusions and equity, ensuring the benefits are widely shared. For traditional economy, may social inequalities and prioritizing the profit over equitable distributions also. Here also some point that is the waste management and investment focus. Here just some example of green economic case studies. I just saw here that some case studies that in Kenya for renewable energy feeds in tariffs. Kenya feed in tariffs that made renewable energy project more attractive and financially viable for investors, accelerating the adoption of sustainable energy sources also. All case studies are from international level, that is in Uganda, here so that the organic agriculture, a successful transition to organic farming has been implemented, highlighting the pollution for green agriculture to provide sustainable livelihoods while reducing the environmental impact. So I just explain that the what is the organic agriculture. That is an approach to farming that emphasizes the environmental stewardships and ecological balance and sustainability by avoiding or large excluding the synthetic impacts like pesticides and fertilizers, and relying on natural process such as crop rotations, animal manures, and biological pest control also. This system aim to improve the maintain and social health for fosters and biodiversity and reduces the risk of exposures to toxic material, ultimately producing the healthier food and supporting the ecosystem terms. Next one is that the Nepal, that forest management. The Nepal showcases effective practices in sustainable forest management that benefit both local communities as well as also ecosystem will also be improved. In Africa, here introducing the Great Green Wall Initiative. Here introducing the Great Green Wall Initiatives. This large-scale project in the Sahel aims to stop desertifications by planting trees. So improving the food and water security and creating the new economy opportunities in the regions. So in what is the Great Green Wall Initiatives? that is an African-led project to restore 100 million hectares of degradable land across the Sahel and Sahara by 2030, primarily by growing mosaics of green and productivity landscapes. That will be launched in 2007, and the initiative goes beyond simply planting a wall of trees, evolving into a comprehensive rural development project aiming to combat the desertifications, boost food security, create jobs, and build resilience to climate change for the millions living in the regions. In India, for Sikkim Green Missions, the state of Sikkim has launched the state of Sikkim has launched a multifaceted initiative including tree planting, a ban of plastic bags and chemical fertilizers, and the promotions of organic farming also. So, what is the Sikkim Green Missions? In the Sikkim Green Missions launched on the February 27 in 2006. That is a program by the government of Sikkim to enhance the state green cover, combat soil erosions, and promote the ecotourism through masses and appreciations and green belt creations. It focuses on vacant and wasteland, that planting the avenues and improving the aesthetic and areas that to attract the tourist. The mission also includes the community that participates through events like the 10 minutes to Mother Earth initiatives and provide free saplings to encouraging the widespread plantation effort.
Sir, you're muted, sir. Kindly unmute, sir.
Sorry. Next topic is that the towards a green economy, interdisciplinary strategies for pollutions and reduction and sustainable on energy transitions. There are also some case studies. That is that the transition, just show some photo here, that the increasing energy efficiency and saving, reducing energy demand, that will reduce the greenhouse gases emissions, that also related to the reduce the climate change. And next is that will be increase the health, economy, and social outcomes. So there are some point I just show that the decentralize the renewable energy projects in remote India communities. So it utilize the solar, wind, and hydroelectric power plants that alongside microgrids to provide the energy access and fosters socio-economic development in the village like Sundarban, Dharani, Jharkhand, and Spite also. Next is that integrated approach to sustainable city development in Mysore, India, that implement the comprehensive green cities project focusing on waste management, water conservation, renewable energy, and adoption and eco-friendly transportation also. And last one is that the policy framework that for green transition and sustainability. Just I show here a graph that the reducing natural resource that uses and minimizing the environmental impact. That will be the green economy full system. Increasing productivity, that will value added products, efficient resource utilizations, if we waste reduction, resources the circularities, decrease the resources uses and the agricultural productions of biodig processings. So that will develop the our green economy.
Yes.
Here just some barrier and challenge for our green economy, that the barrier to economic growth that includes political and institutional weakness also, that corruption, poor governments, conflicts, human capital deflected, lack of education, healthcare, infrastructure limitation, poor roads, energy communications. Also, in financial challenges, that will be the saving gaps, debate, capital flights. For economical structural issues, that will be the primary products, dependency, large informal sector, that also. And for social and external factors like inequality, global economics condition, traditional barrier also. So just I show here some chart that challenge and barrier. What is that? For technological and infrastructure challenge, here economic and policy barrier, skills and workforce gaps, environmental and environmental trade-offs. Now sir will explain this remaining topic.
Now, so we are at the end of the program. So now we have discussed so many things. So we have discussed, steel industry at first, the carbon emission, we have discussed the sources of carbon emission, how to reduce it, then for greener world, what are to be done for renewable energy, we are talking about. And we also talked about the policies the government should take and R&D center, what they do. Now, so far as we are concerned, what the common people will do. So whatever we have discussed, this is for different sectors. Some for green building, some design people, some construction people, some, industrialists will think of. For economy, economists will play the role. Government bodies will take the, initiative to have a model. To renewable energy, the energy people, electric energy, other people will do it. And for other sectors, the automobile industry, gas emission can be reduced and an automobile engineer can do that. What the common people will do? Because the Mother Earth is the property of everybody. So it is not the responsibility of the government or R&D center or somebody else. We cannot blame anybody for global warming. We cannot blame anybody for pollution. Each and everybody of us are responsible for that. As an individual, what we should do as a common man. We are not engineers, we are not professors, we are not literate. As a common man, what we should do. We have talked about 4 R's. So everybody can emphasis on reusing, repair, recycle, reduce. But main emphasis is on lifestyle. To reduce the pollution control, to enhance the economy, main thing lifestyle. What do we do? We are doing everything what the industrial or in developed countries are doing. What is fit for the other countries may not be fit for us. Lifestyle, we have to concentrate on. What do we mean by lifestyle? So organic farming is a big word. So when we are, thinking about purchasing from Amazon, Flipkart, I'm not cursing anything. I'm not talking about business thing. So in the time of Corona, we have depended on the local grocery shops, local kirana shops. But after that, we are emphasis the purchasing from different online stores. So now the economy is being, concentrated to few people. If we really interested for the growth of the nation, growth of us, nation means we are also included. We have to see our neighbors, the small farmers, small kirana owners. So we are purchasing same foods as a higher cost by online because we are getting idle. When you are, ordering by online, we are giving much more price to that particular people. Once again, we are, creating some environment where we are getting idle. So we are not moving. This is creating a, cascading effect to our health. Now, in lifestyle also, now too much heat is there. AC in AC, air condition is becoming an essential part. So what we see in a single room, one AC, one people is walking, one people is sleeping. So if we change the lifestyle to reduce the consumption of energy, we can do that. We can change our eating habit. We can change our purchasing capacity. The way we can think, we can contribute. Now, in few years earlier, when auto was not the Toto was not the, we used to walk. Now we are not walking. We used to use bicycle. Everybody of us know, Prime Minister of UK using bicycle, using metro. But here, a common man is rare to use bicycle. They are using, four-wheelers, three-wheelers. So if we are concentrate on individual lifestyle, we can reduce the carbon emission, pollution control, and this thing. Government may take so many things, but if we as an individuals are not taking up it seriously, the things will go beyond our, scope. So now it is a time to think where we can contribute. Now it is not the study, not the case, not the think of a literal person. It is think of the common people. How to induce the common people as a more or less, middle class, upper class people of the society, what we can do for the underprivileged. So few days earlier in a particular seminar with Jadavpur University, we have already discussing, the eliminating slums by precast building. This elimination will, reduce also the pollution control also. The designer will do that, but once again, I'm emphasizing on lifestyle. We're not going to purchase, really market things. We have to insist on purchasing which is good, not the, mirchi is a red one mirchi. Most of them are colored one. So we have to think we are, bringing all the disease by ourselves. Then we're going to our doctor and we are giving the money. So everything in is, shuffled, in a siphon in different way. Money is coming. It is siphoned in a different way. So now this is the call of the day. By discussing so many things, we have to reuse whatever we can do. We have to reduce our consumption in whatever we can do. We have to repair the things, whatever we can do. Now, whatever lifestyle will enhance the pollution control and grow the economy, you have to do. Now, we can stop here. If you have any question, we can have an interaction to enrich ourselves. Thank you. Sir, please. So among the, participants, dignitaries, whatever who are present here, you can throw some lights so that we can. So in one particular conference, we are, hearing from the chairman of ex-chairman of SAIL. So he was very upset for the carbon emission in the steel plant. So I given the reference of that. So now we are working on the civil engineering and also in mechanical projects. So what we do, we try to ensure the less pollution and less consumption, so that economy for ourselves, individual, can be enhanced. So we are, for the time being, we are not thinking as a whole. 140 crores people, if they individual think individually, 1 + 1 + 1 day, it will reach 140. Understand? So thank you for giving me the opportunity. So since I have in a high fever, so I cannot take the full one. My Assis has read out the thing. So I think it will be helping you. If anything is required, so we'll be here to discuss things. So I think Dr. Jana, Shubhan Jana is there. I think.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening talk. We'll now take a few minutes for question answer session.
Yes, sir.
Participants may kindly ask their questions or can type in the chat box. We'll just ask these questions in the
Please.
to our speaker. Any questions from the participant side?
Please, sir. No, actually, in renewable energy, people are working in different area, and different colleges and different institutions are having a solar panel energy. You're using the roof as this, and people are also doing water harvesting, also using the wasted water. By using this, they are using the waste into the wealth. This is very important. So I went to a power plant near Durgapur. So I have seen the waste of what you call in mines or collieries, with a dust hole, are being used for the very small 40 megawatt power plant in Durgapur. It is well to wealth. I have really seen it very. It is not a coke base or coal base, very dust one. They're using this thing to make the mission possible, waste to wealth. That is very important, waste to wealth. If anybody has anything to enlighten on that, we can talk on that. Waste to wealth is a very important thing today. That is a motion of the 4R. We can reuse the what we call energy resources we have. We can reuse this waste to wealth. So I have talked about biodegradable things to use as a bricks. So we have a plan to do that. So we can use this as a in between walls, which is reduce the load as well as aesthetically it can be good one. So we can think about on that. People here, so much learning, people they can throw light on that, so that we can work on that also.
Hello, sir.
Yes, please.
I'm Afzal, and my question is regarding the role of capitalism in destroying the environment.
Yes. Yes.
And
Actually,
for example, suppose we imagine in a utopian sense, if we imagine we can go by, as somebody said just now, by bicycle, it's okay. But it won't be okay for the companies that run a car business, an automobile business, which is integral part of sustaining the government first. So capitalism sustains the government, and sustainability will not be. Is it possible in such a scenario, sir?
exactly. Your question is very pertinent in this case. Capitalism is as a destroying. They are the most responsible for destroying this what you call environment. So at the last of this particular session, what we have done, so we have talked on that, the lifestyle, individualism. So we as an individual do whatever we can do. They are forcing us to take so many actions, so many things. But These are due to the programs and what you call methods or programs for the capitalist economy. This is the benefit or bad thing for that. We have to do to run a government. To run a government, we cannot ignore this in a free economy environment. We cannot ignore them. But so whatever our Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister told, make in India or because it's Bharat, we have to think of ourselves. So that is a long-term project, but for the time being, we have to think of individual sustainability, not the sustainability of the environment or the sustainability of the whole thing. What we can do, we have to input that. We have to contribute that.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
So there's a question from a participant side in the chat box. She Biswas. It is really
This is
possible to be pollution free?
exactly.
It is a question.
Yes, the very good question. So what is pollution? Pollution may be from different sources. If it is a gaseous pollution, so who is responsible for that? So if we think about the sources of pollution, we cannot eliminate 100% those things. We can reduce to the maximum level. So for the growth of the industry, effluent are going to the water. So before going to the water, we can have an effluent plant. We can reduce the late percent or the, we can reduce. We cannot have a pollution-free world. It was there in the earlier world. Now it is increasing. So now our concern is to reduce as much as possible. We cannot reduce 100%. Okay. Any question? Any more, sir? These days we are talking about pollution. Why today? Because, say 20 years back, 30 years now, global warming, glacial, thing are, what is this?
Any more questions for the participants? Then my sincere thanks for the insightful talk. Your presentation also
Yeah.
was both engaging
Thought
and
you have
informative.
started thinking that. Pardon?
Sir, since there is no further questions, sir, we would like to wind up this session, sir. Our next speaker is waiting. So
Okay.
thank you, sir, for your presentation, sir, which was both engaging and informative. And it provided all of us with valuable perspectives that truly resonated. Thank you, sir, for your time and effort you have put into sharing your expertise with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, give me a chance. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Rajkumar, sir, have you joined, sir?
Yes, good evening, everybody. I have just joined and I can see the screen and
Yes, sir. Yes, it is audible, sir.
okay. So I am otherwise ready. I think possibly when you say I can start sharing my screen and start the presentation.
So can you please share your screen? So,
Yes, just a
so we
moment.
can just check whether there is any issue or not.
Yeah.
No.
One moment. Now, is it okay? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is shared, sir. Presentation is shared.
Right. So once you tell me, I will start my presentation.
So we'll start at sharply at 7:30.
Okay, fine. I'll start at 7:30.
So very good evening to everyone, and at 7:30 sharp we are going to start our next session. So for this current session we have Mr. Rajkumar Mukherjee with us, General Manager, Development Consultants Private Limited, who will present on green economy and carbon reduction interdisciplinary approaches for sustainable energy transition. So let me introduce our speakers today. Mr. Mukherjee is an engineering professional with 43 years of experience across coal, gas, oil, hydro, renewable, nuclear, and transmission and distribution sectors. He has served companies like DCPL, Hirakud Power, Aditya Birla Group, CESC, Tata International, and Tractable Engine. He has executed challenging projects in both conventional and renewable sectors, covering business, energy, environment, and sustainability. His global exposure includes work in Saudi Arabia, Turkey, Uzbekistan, Georgia, Kazakhstan, South Korea, China, Singapore, Vietnam, Nepal, Bangladesh, Maldives, Myanmar, Spain, Germany, Belgium, Tanzania, and Ethiopia. Currently, he serves as an advisor in energy and environment, contributing to major power projects in India across private and public sectors. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. And now you may start. The stage is yours, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for a wonderful introduction. And good evening and hearty welcome to all the participants in this session from wherever you are participating. And today, I think we are already the series of presentations are already on, and you might have participated in other sessions also on almost a contemporary topic. So today, my topic is a little bit descriptive. Let's first try to go through my topic, and then I'll tell you the approach of my presentation. The topic for me today is green economy and carbon reduction and interdisciplinary approaches for the sustainable energy transition. Now, if you try to factorize this subject, you will derive some very important focus areas, something like green economy, then carbon reduction, then interdisciplinary approach, then sustainable energy transition. There is basically four main factors which are covered under the subject. So what I will do, I'll try to take you through each of the four areas and then try to correlate the whole subject. Okay. So, and then try to explain to you that, what way these subjects are related and what are, certain actionable issues today. So first, I think if we just stay on the factor of green economy, and then let's see. Excuse me, I think. Hello. I think
all participants are requested to mute your microphones. All participants are requested to mute your microphone.
I think some participant, Lavani Nondi, I think she needs to put on. Wow, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, it will be very difficult. Okay.
Yes, sir. Sorry,
everybody put off. Yeah, please. Okay. So the green economy, today we are on the subject of when we just focus on the term of green economy, then let's try to understand what are the key elements of green economy. So when we say green economy, then there are certain sub-factors which are built into it. First is that it is green economy means that there will be low carbon emission technology that will be necessary. The green economy basically means that, is an approach that a nation might take, a country might take, or a community might take, wherever they are, and as a global, you can say a global mission, a part of a global mission to make this world reduced in carbon dioxide level. So therefore, low carbon emission technology is something which is very important. By that we mean that minimize the carbon emission by reducing reliance on fossil fuel and adopt clean energy like solar, wind, and hydroelectric. So therefore, wherever you have the technology that calls for more of dependence on hydrocarbon fuel and then related carbon dioxide emission, we have to depend less on that. Maybe today itself we cannot suddenly bring them down to zero, but less dependence on that. The next is that then there has to be a very good resource efficiency management. What is resource efficiency management? That means we stay focused on using resources more efficiently, minimize waste, promote recycling, and reuse to reduce resource consumption. That necessarily means that if we are doing some kind of a production process or some generation process or something, we essentially use new materials. We essentially do it through a process. So we have to be very careful so that we can reduce our resource consumption and try to reuse whatever resources we have. Let's say maybe for some process, water could be a resource, very good resource, or coal could be a resource. In that case, or oil could be a resource. So we have to be very careful so that we can reduce those resource consumptions and make our process more efficient. So not only at the change in the technology level, but also becoming efficient in the processes, in the process of the technology application. We have to be careful so that we start reducing the resource consumption. We make more reuse of whatever resources we have and making minimum of waste, and therefore making the process more efficient. So that is also how we can stay on the green economy. Now, green economy, basically, if I have just gone through two elements of green economy, and by that you must be finding a commonality between this, that basically it leads to the greener economy means a drive that basically leads to environmental improvement, reduction of carbon emission. Everything is emerging from that, whether I try to separately bring that factor or correlate or whatever. Let's proceed, and then we will have a much better clarity. Now, next factor under green economy is environmental protection measures. That includes minimizing the negative environmental impacts such as pollution, biodiversity loss, ecosystem damage, etc. That necessarily means that the nature has given us a kind of a setup in the world, and nature has given us a balance in our atmosphere. Everything which is good for human being, which is good for Earth, and good for everybody to stay on Earth for years together. And let's try not to have a negative impact on that or disturb the balance of the nature and the environment, which might be detrimental for us. It's also a part of the green economy. And another important point is that it is not only a technical approach when we talk of green economy. There is also a social part of it. The social part of it is that and the factors that I have, the three factors that I have already explained before, it must be taking us to certain benefits. It must be yielding certain benefits, and that benefits is for everybody. And so therefore, whoever is a part of the society, whoever is a part of the world, the human and the living being communities, they need to understand that these benefits will be automatically passed on to whoever is living on the earth. So therefore, if the benefits is passed on to everybody, then everybody automatically gets included, and as such, there is a social involvement in the whole thing. So that, which means that create a just and equitable society ensuring that the benefits of the economic growth are shared by all and that no one is left behind. That necessarily means if we are thinking of going for a green economy, I'm repeating again the subject, that going for a carbon reduction, going for a healthier tomorrow, then that should yield benefit for everybody. And whatever steps we take towards the green economy, the benefits of that should be available to everybody. It should not be focused on one particular area or one particular section of the society. Then the next is most important part of green economy is the sustainable development. So the question is that on one hand, if we say that, well, we will go for carbon reduction, by that process, we will bring in the green drive, we will bring in the green economy, then the entire process has to remain sustainable, and in the whole process, there has to be a forward movement, there has to be a development, and that development must be sustainable. That means we must be very much sure and we must be very much confident when we take any action on the subject that we are going for a positive development, which is going to be good for everybody, and this is going to be sustainable. The benefits of these actions will stay for us for long, and it will be good. And the whole, the composition of the earth and all elements of earth, everybody will continue to live a healthy life and stay, as they were for a very, very long time, and that will be achieved without any disturbance to the whole system. So those are, to say in a simple way, those are the certain elements of green economy. Now, as we call these steps, and we call it an economy, because basically, if you will say whatever I have mentioned are basically certain actions which are, we call them as a green drive, because we are linking it towards the carbon reduction. That means as if we are trying to having a more greener world and all that. So we call them green, we term them as green. And in the process, whenever we do something, we get the society involved, we get the technologies involved, we do certain actions involved. They get reflected in terms of projects, they get in terms of actions, they get in terms of schemes. Therefore, somehow or other, the term economy comes into play. So now I think we can link the green and economy, do two words together. So like that, we have to understand each factor, because whenever we discuss such subjects basically just we discuss in a very subjective way. But it is most important at this particular point of time to not just let them remain as the subject or theoretical points. We need to internalize what we need to do. We need to do not only by ourselves, we need to do from different disciplines of the society and different disciplines of the people who are in action. That I will come to the next part, which will be the interdisciplinary part. So now, therefore, let's see that how green economy, or rather I should say a greening drive, has a benefit in economy. So like, does it help in any economic decision making? Let's try to. The answer is yes, the green economy provides us a framework for achieving carbon reduction. So at least that is the one, when we are taking so much of action, at the end of the day, it is giving us some kind of a framework to achieve carbon reduction, which is a target for everybody today. So that otherwise we would have taken it through some form of project, or also through some form of an action. So now if we are taking them as a green economy, I have told you the steps, and through the steps, by selecting an appropriate technology, an appropriate process, and appropriate resource management, etc., 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 we develop a framework, and that framework becomes applicable for achieving carbon reduction. So one step in the economic approach or economic decision making is complete. Then what is next? Next is that it helps integrating the environmental considerations. yes, environmental considerations are there. As we become conscious about the environment, we try to protect the environment. We tell we should do this, we should do that, we can implement a lot of rules, regulations, everything. But if we want to see that what is the impact on the environment, how that impact can be reduced, we need to take certain steps, and those steps are through green economy. So therefore, whatever framework we prepare, it should also help. It should also help to integrate certain environmental considerations or environmental targets taken through policy, or taken as a mandate. It helps achieving sustainable development. As I told you that yes, we are, whenever we are, if we are in a transitional process, let's say, everybody feel that we are already, we are having a tremendous impact of the global warming. We have tremendous impact, adverse impact worldwide. We need to do something. We need to bring the whole earth to a more habitable condition. And we should bring it not only to a habitable condition, but a condition which should lead to a steady state, so that everybody can have, all the species can, continue to live in this world without much of a disturbance, and we should have a very steady kind of life and all that. And therefore, whatever stage we will reach, which will be sustainable, and to reach that state from today to that particular stage is a kind of development, and that development is towards sustainability, and therefore that is a sustainable development, and it has also an impact on the economy. Because if we are sustainable, if things are okay, then everywhere the economy is also balanced. We can do all the functions. We don't have to spend too much on a particular subject. We can prioritize our earnings and expenditure and the whole economic balance, whether at a particular state level or country level or world level or society level, anywhere. So therefore, as a whole, it helps in economic decision making in short and long term. So every time there is an economic decision making necessary, we are trying to take an economic decision in terms of what should be our plan for next 5 years or 10 years, and what are the focus areas where we need to have more investment, what are the focus where there could be some chances of an employment potential, where some technology which could be more appropriate. Everything comes as a part of this economic decision making. So now, if we take a drive through a green economy, everything falls into place, and they collectively take you to what we call as a short-term and long-term economic decision. So that is the part of green economy. Now, a more focused area under the green economy, which is today my topic, is carbon reduction. So carbon reduction is a very, very major part of the green economy. And let's see that what ways and means could be there to go for carbon reduction. Dear participants, this subject is not very hard, not very tough, not very critical. It's very easy. Whatever we say are all very known terms. Whatever we have to do, we all know. The writing is on the wall. It's nothing very new. The question is that, do we have the checklist prepared today? Do we really know? We know a number of factors, but do we know all the factors that are actionable and on which we can set targets, and which could be result-oriented, and which we can take on an anvil in a planned way for a short-term and long-term implementation. So that perspective, if we try to see, then the first and most effective approach in under green economy is carbon reduction, where we really have a lot of things to do. So the first step is going to renewable energy. So that means transitioning from fossil fuel to renewable energy sources like solar, wind, geothermal is crucial for reducing emissions. It's a big step, and in one shot you can bring down the carbon. So today we are in a position to go for choices of energy technologies. Not all of them have been very successfully or are applied for a large scale, but well, we have today the solar applied on a very large scale. I'm not going into very details, but most of you will be knowing that what are our targets for tomorrow to go to switch and in our energy scenario, the energy distribution, how much contribution should come from the non-conventional part as well. So, but we have not done so much on geothermal worldwide. In few countries, of course, they have done geothermal, but you know, the people are still working on geothermal. And there are other technologies, of course, available, hydropower, and then you have ocean thermal energy, so many things. I'm not going into that much of detail because that is not the subject as such. It is only a part of the subject. Now, next is energy efficiency, which I also told before, that improving energy efficiency in buildings, transportation, industrial processes can significantly reduce energy consumption, and therefore it can reduce the associated emissions. So if we not only go for an alternative mode of energy generation, like renewable energy is one part, another is the efficient use of the energy. If we use our energy very, very efficiently, then what happens, you know, in that case, we also, as I say, we reduce a lot of, you know, resources, and we have a more less emission, which impacts the environment. Then again, going for sustainable transportation. So transportation is also one area, not only energy generation or energy in the process. Transportation is also one thing which contributes a lot, and we should also think of improving the energy efficiency in all the transportation sectors and also. Then in sustainable land management, the practices like afforestation, reforestation, and sustainable agriculture can sequester carbon and reduce emissions. So therefore, actually, the use of land, and let us try to actually more simplify this point. That supposing that if we are thinking of doing a particular project or set up certain industries, we always try to avoid any forest areas. We always try to avoid green areas. We only try to focus on the areas which are not really cultivable, or which are otherwise not very much used, or which does not impact the environment or change the, you know, the local ecosystem or change the local area drainage pattern, something like that. That necessarily means that if we are careful in the land management, then also we make a less disturbance to the environment. Otherwise, if we do a lot of you know, deforestation and all that, I don't want to name anything, but you have heard what can be the consequences. Now, another important part of the carbon reduction is circular economy. I'm trying to also link not only the technical part with technical part also the techno-economic part I'm trying to link, because these are all interrelated. Circular economy, this is what we very often hear these days. But what is basically circular economy in a simple term? It is basically implementing circular economy principles like 3 elements, you can say, that is reducing, reusing, recycling resources, which is same meaning, which will minimize the waste and therefore minimize associated emissions. Therefore, we reduce consumptions, we try to reuse as much resources as possible, or recycle them as much as possible. One simple example to understand can be water. If we have a process, if we reduce the consumptive use of that, if we can reuse, if we can recycle, we are benefiting. But actually, circular economy is not as simple as like water consumption, but it means a lot. It means a lot, and it means starting from a very kind of a raw material to a finished product. Everywhere this processing involved, and it's a very big subject. Today, if I try to explain everything, I'll not be able to complete the whole thing. So therefore, it is basically let us stay on the heading only. Now, next is green finance. Green finance is so far so whatever we have told that if these are the various approaches, the approaches as such would not work until and unless there is a substantial finance coming into it. That means even if we try to say a lot of actions to be taken, if we a lot of projects to be done, lot of efficiency to be improved and all that, but everything has to be taken through a scheme, through a process, and that needs some kind of a financial support. And without that financial support, it is extremely difficult to make it possible. So therefore, once we talk of an economic approach, in the economy, not only the hardcore actions or basically the targets are not only important. Important is how those are to be achieved, a timeline and a cash flow. That is necessary. So that is to be also ensured. And we cannot complete a subject without mentioning that. So now one might say that, well, we stay on the subject of green economy. We understand what is greening action. We understand what is an economic impact. We do understand what is the main impact. Main step of that is carbon reduction. But what is the economic growth? And if we are we really, well, sustainability is also a factor. It will come. But ultimately, through the entire process, are we thinking of certain economic growth? And if so, if we are thinking of economic growth, then what are the constituents of the economic growth? So that is, if you can say that now, if you are going through, if we are going through this process, if you are trying to say that I want an efficient process, an efficient mechanism, an efficient machinery, and I want more improvised products and all that, then we need an innovation so that we can achieve our targets. So innovation then comes into play, and innovation, then through innovation in sustainable products and services is one part where society will find applications and opportunities. And then new jobs will come in the sustainable sectors. And you can say, if you try to take a certain examples, what could be certain examples? A very pure example, you can say, supposing that the introduction of the solar energy. Now, you see the solar energy, you have seen that how it can be applied. It can go to household, it can be taken up to industrial level, it can be a grid connected provision everywhere. So therefore, you see a lot of products that are being developed on the on solar energy. Then as a part of the solar energy, whether it is a big project or wherever, or rooftop projects and all that, you see how much components those have, and then how much manufacturing is going to be behind that. That is also there. So like that, there is always a scope of innovation of new products, and there are always scope of certain developments and growths. And then reduced wastage and lower energy cost is also a contributor to economic growth. Then the long-term environmental health-related costs also go down. If you have less environmental impacts, less problems, then environment and health-related costs will also go down. And then what is going to also happen, that one important part is as we go into development of the renewable energy in a more sustainable way, we also have the energy security through diversification from fossil fuel. That is, if we're shifting from the fossil fuel going for a renewable energy, then we also have a challenge that we need to have a kind of a generating capacity which should replace that the capacity coming from the fossil fuel. Not only generating capacity, also the employment opportunities. The power stations, those who are using fossil fuels, had a good amount of employment opportunities. Today, with the renewable energy coming into play, process is becoming simple. There also, we have a challenge. The two-way, I mean, the fossil fuels are larger from the larger power stations. If we are going to renewable, these capacities are smaller. So one fine morning, we cannot cut down from fossil fuel to renewable. We will step by step, we will cut down, but we should have substantial amount of renewable energy sources. So therefore, we have a lot of new diversification and opportunities there. At the same time, in some way or other, we have to find out that if the employment opportunity is going down, then what could be the alternative employment opportunities. But energy security is also very important, because more and more, if we go to renewable one fine day, also we will be able to completely replace the fossil fuel power generation, and we can still maintain the energy security for the country. What is energy security? That is, no point of time there would be a lack of energy supplies to the grid and all that. Now, I have quickly gone through the background, the very major part that is coming. So therefore, you know, if we are going through the green economy, trying to go for a carbon reduction, apparently different types of projects are coming to our mind. I have tried to give you certain examples, what could be the steps and all that. But now, what will be the role of the interdisciplinary approach here, which is the most important topic, that there has to be an interdisciplinary approach. And why interdisciplinary approach is important, let us understand, because that is my subject today. I have spent a lot of time on the green economy and carbon reduction. It was important because otherwise I would have not been able to introduce to you and say that why an interdisciplinary approach is necessary. Now, green economy focused on sustainability and low carbon development necessitates interdisciplinary approach for a successful energy transition. That means that whatever steps you take, it needs support from various disciplines. Various disciplines means there has to be an energy specialist, environmental specialist, economist, like that. If all people have to come on, contribute to it. No, it is not the purpose of telling is that it is not a particularly special, some subject matter specialist oriented job, or one should not think that, well, no, I'm an environmentalist, this is my job. Or somebody, an economist, should not say that, no, this is basically concerning the environment and the energy, therefore it is the job of the energy specialist or environmentalist. No, it is not that. Everybody has to contribute to this, so that, you know, as I have tried to explain the factors and sub-factors in the green economy and carbon reduction. And then from there, I have tried to explain to you why every element is coming into play. And therefore, it is very obvious that people from different disciplines has to contribute there. Now, then what is the interdisciplinary approach? Interdisciplinary approach is integrating fields of economic, environmental science, engineering, alongside social and policy considerations to address the complexities of reducing carbon emissions and fostering a sustainable future. A lot of things are implied into it. That necessarily means that, so maybe a technology decision on a technology is important. So engineering comes into play. Its impact on the environment and the mitigation measures and the management measures of the environment is also from environmental science. It has got an economic implication, not only in terms of investment, also in terms of long-term and short-term application. For that, in economic is also necessary. Then there would be legal by professionals also needed, set the policy matters, and the social scientists are also needed to see that how much it can be taken, driven down to the different level of the society, so that everybody will be benefited, everybody will be involved. You know, all these steps need to be also participative. If it is not participative, if everybody is not thinking that, well, it is also my job, to take part into it, so that it is also I will be getting benefited, and also the society will be getting benefited. Without that kind of a feeling and participation, this is not going to be successful. And not only that, if somebody is participating, he should know that which role he has to participate and what is his specialization where he needs to participate. So therefore, a holistic and global approach is extremely important. So the holistic approach that combines technical, economic, social, and environmental perspective seamless to develop the solution. We can go for a particular project or something. We can reach solution, and collectively it has to be taken. A very simple example is if you are trying to develop, say, let's say, kind of a project report or something. You just go through a very standard kind of composition of a project report. You will yourself very clearly will be able to understand that in a particular project report, there is a technical engineering section, there is environmental section, there is an economic section, everywhere, and there is also a social kind of a section. So without the contribution of all that, even a project report cannot be prepared, leaving apart the actual level of implementation on ground. And then finally from local to global collaboration is essential, because we are globally, we are in a position to address the climate change, and we are everywhere trying to promote sustainable energy transitions, trying to do it worldwide. Therefore, kind of a cross flow of information, of technology and all that, and the participation of the global experts will also help this kind of a transitional process. So, sorry, I got a reverse. Now, a little bit more discussion on the interdisciplinary nature of the green economy. Same thing, basically the same thing. If we are trying to bring the environmental scientists, what they will do, they will understand the impacts of climate change, then the resource depletion, biodiversity loss, for developing effective mitigation and adaptation strategies. In economics, the people from economics will come, they will analyze economic viability of green technologies, carbon pricing mechanism, and transition to a low carbon economy, which is essential. The engineering people will do implementing sustainable technologies like renewable energy system, energy storage solution, carbon capture technologies, and then this will all require engineering expertise. The social scientists will also be required. Addressing social equity, just transitions, and the stakeholder engagement is vital to ensure a fair and inclusive energy transition. So, because at some time, people will have to understand why this energy transition is necessary, because in the energy transition process, there will be a lot of, as I told you, that supposing that tomorrow I am going to phase out the fossil fuel power stations, going to renewable power stations. On papers, on project report, it is all right, but think about the kind of employment losses that will happen, because those are largely people-oriented. I should say not people-intensive, not people-oriented, people-intensive. Of course, people-oriented applications in the industry. Where these people will go, they will have to learn a new technology. And how much of them could be absorbed in the renewable part? But then there has to be a transitional process where these people will have to be trained into some other kind of thing so that they get the employment. And there is no other deterrent factor created in the society. These are part of the responsibility of the social scientists and the economists, everywhere, everybody. So also the political sciences will come into play. Like there has to be effective policies, regulations, and they have to look for what other countries are doing. So therefore, if necessary, they can bring in international cooperation. If some technology, let's say, is available, not in my country, and it might help my country. So how to bring in all that so that we can drive towards the transition. Now, so now again, the one part of my topic is actually the transition. So in the transition, basically the same thing. Really, not many new terms are coming into it. So basically, when we say transition, so basically we need to understand what is the transition. What are the factors in the transition? The transition is actually moving away from fossil fuels. This is the transition. The sustainable energy transition involves shifting from reliance on fossil fuel to renewable energy sources. Then again, transition in energy efficiency means improving energy efficiency across all sectors. In that case, residential, industrial, commercial, every sector will be important. Every sector will be important, and therefore this transition has to be faced by everyone. Then decarbonization strategies. So this will include, different range of approaches in the carbon capture, in carbon storage, afforestation, sustainable land management, part of which I have tried to explain before. So that everything contributes into reduction of the carbon emission. So people have to, as I said in the very beginning, that every state has to be internalized, understood by the concerned part of the society, or the group, or the discipline. Could they be engineers? Could they be social scientists? Could they be common people who would be the part of the transition? It will be very important to take them on in the entire process. For that, whatever policies need to be implemented, it needs to be implemented. People have to be explained with the advantages like circular economy. Very little, even we, the common people, we really believe that everything would be done towards reducing waste like recycling, reusing, and all that? You don't believe that. If something, supposing that even a let's say, for example, if you are ordering for an online item, and they will bring you with the paper bag, what do we do with the paper bag? Do we really sometimes use it? People say that it is giving a bad smell, just throw it away. There could be more applications into it, believe me. Even in my own house, I sometimes fight that no, don't even throw a kind of a bottle which is emptied, or a kind of a container which is empty. Try to see if it can be reused somewhere. 99% of it is not successful, but it can be started at that level, believe me. Now, to continue with the interdisciplinary approach, most important is policy and regulation. If it has to be taken to a step of sustainability, if it has to be taken, it has to be time tested, it is to be adopted by everybody. If something is to be implemented through a project, through a viability check and all that, and through a target as a national target, as a governmental target and all that, at a governance, with a governance, you need a policy and regulation. That has to be purely set. We have to say through a policy, we have to circulate to everybody that the country is moving towards this, and the regulations are needed for this. There need to be penalties if you are not complying. Sometimes with the imposition of penalties, then not everything is done. So that's why first of all I wanted to say that get the people involved, from spontaneously, more spontaneously. Then if somebody is trying to violate, it is important, because regulation is important, penalty is important. Otherwise, how are we? We see a lot of cases where people are violating the environmental norms. So from that perspective, technological innovation, continuous technological innovation is necessary, because not everywhere, every kind of location, one particular application of technology can be possible. There could be a little bit customization of the technology, or there could be certain availability constraint of some resource. So you may need a different customized technology and all that. For that, global, kind of an international cooperation will be necessary. In financial mechanisms, whatever we do, let's say we talk of things like, well, we shift from fossil fuel to renewable energy. So phase down the old fossil fuel power stations and go for renewable power stations. What will happen with the assets of the old fossil fuel power stations? What would we do? There are still, and what to do, and who will give the who will pay for it? Who is going to pay for it? Because those facilities, those projects also have taken money from somewhere. You have to know whether that has been totally paid off or not. And if we are going for a kind of a change of technology, everywhere the money is to be given. So somebody has to even pay for phasing out a fossil fuel station. So there has to be a very strong financial mechanism. Not every investment can be profit oriented. Phasing down of an old fossil fuel power station and utilization of the assets somewhere else is a very different thing. It does not immediately yield a profit, but you need a financial mechanism somewhere to fund that project. Then finally, I am trying to say that public awareness and education. It is the task that the people have to understand that we are today in a stage. We need to understand the world is at a risk. We need to reduce carbon immediately. We need to cool down our earth. If we need to cool down our earth, these are the possible simple steps we need to do. If these are the possible simple steps, then these are the sub steps to be done. And the strategies like that, it is something like an education. So subjects should emerge. Maybe the subjects can come in different education level to understand, and through different kind of awareness programs, it has to be taken down, drilled down to every level of the society. So I'll quickly go through. So therefore, the time has come when we need to integrate all the disciplines. The disciplines, even the disciplines, if they are different, they have got different subject matter expertise, they should have a common target when we are talking of transition, when we are talking of a kind of, I should say, a green economy. They should work together and they should collectively take the whole thing as a mission. So therefore, in doing this, the engineering should focus on developing and optimizing renewable energy technologies, energy storage, green infrastructure. Economics, what should do? They should analyze cost, benefits of different energy technologies. They should develop different business model. They should assess the economic impacts of the transition. What the social scientists should do, there should be representation from sociology, anthropology, even psychology. They should examine the social acceptance of the new energy technologies, explore the role of energy citizenship, and understand the social impacts of the transition. The environmental scientists should assess the environmental impacts of the energy production and consumption, including life cycle assessment, emissions, and resource use. Political science and the policymakers should be there. They should focus on developing effective policies and regulations to support the transition, including incentive, carbon pricing, and energy market design. And law should address the framework for energy production, distribution, and consumption, including property rights, environmental regulations, international agreements. Everything is important. There are too many items which I cannot cover everything everywhere. It is also, today my subject is more on a energy part. So therefore, today energy is a regulated sector. So therefore, it has to be properly taken through the regulatory framework. That's very important. The regulators need to do a customized. The energy policies have now come. Everybody is working with that. In the last Indian National Congress, I represented a paper on energy policies, and my paper was eventually awarded the best paper. Anyway, there I have seen how people were interested. There were the regulators also are very important to understand that what also they should need to do in terms of the change of the regulator. That is a governmental level that they will do, but there is a task for them as well. Now, strategic issues, not only the participatory, there should be the few strategies need to be kept in mind, because the drivers, that should be the drivers. The government is the driver. Each government, because it has to be, we have a federal structure, and it should be drilled down from a particular level, whether it is energy ministry or the home ministry or environment ministry, whatever, everybody's task. But the strategies, they should be kept in mind that without an appropriate collaborative process, this cannot go on successfully. So because it needs researchers from different disciplines to work together, they should share knowledge, they should develop a common understanding of the problem. So that is called collaboration. Then holistic perspective. What is holistic perspective? Because it should consider the interconnectedness of the different aspects of the energy system and broader socio-economic context, which I have tried to little bit slowly, I have tried to explain to you in the very beginning that how the holistic approach is important here. Bits and pieces things are lying everywhere, but it has to be taken as a whole task so that some kind of a policy emerges from that. Then systematic thinking. In the systematic thinking means where it analyzes the energy system as a complex whole rather than focusing on individual components cell isolation. So therefore, it has to be thought as a whole. As I told you that you go for renewable energy, but don't just leave everything behind the fossil fuel. You have a task left over there to do about what you are doing from fossil fuel, switching from fossil fuel to renewable energy. No, that's not the end of the story. We need to do a lot on the fossil fuel stations. What we need to do is to be understood, and that is the part of systematic thinking. Then adaptive management recognizes that the energy transition is an ongoing process, and that solution needs to be adapted based on new information and changing circumstances. Today we feel that I will do a solar project here, and we do an wind project here. Is it possible? No, it's not as possible. It depends on whether that location is good for a solar project or a wind project. So if there is no opportunity, can we suddenly say that we will switch from fossil fuel and we go for energy transition? If we don't have a potential, then we have to find out what is the alternative arrangement. If a country does not even have that, they might have to go for a green energy import transporter. That's an adaptive management. It has a lot of economic impact. It's not easy, friends. It is to be thought of really in a holistic way. Then finally, a participatory approach. It should involve all stakeholders from different sectors, including businesses, communities, policymakers in the planning and implementation of the energy transition strategies. The industrially should be very careful that, well, I have a role here. I can contribute here. There is my business potential. Therefore, I'm coming up with my private participation of funds, and I can fund this particular project. Then things will happen. Not government can do everything alone. Few examples of interdisciplinary missions, like developing sustainable biofuel production. I'm not going into detail, time is not much. So developing sustainable biofuel production you know, you can read it out basically in a biofuel production. So how many chemists, agricultural scientists, I mean, these are certain examples where what are the different disciplines who can participate and collectively work. Then designing a community energy system is also one example where also people can do a lot. And then promoting energy efficiency. These are, let me see if I can quickly take you through a small case study, because I'm running through very fast because I think only 10 minutes or so is left. So a Kota city has to be is under it is a very important project because the Kota city is taken as a model city where kind of it is to be taken as a green city and green economy implementation over there. So here actually I'm really taken through pictorially so that it is faster. Whatever I have told is pictorially presented here. So here you see there is a overlap of interests. And if it is a city that can be taken as a green economy, then basically see how the things are. Look at this diagram. It is very significant. You know how the different components or different disciplines are coming, how they are getting cumulated, and gradually it is getting greener and greener and greener. So green mobility, green energy, green buildings, green waste, biodiversity, urban agriculture, then green infrastructure finally is an appropriate color of the green and becomes a green city. These are the distributions. This is I'm taking as a case study, specific case study of a green city. If we want to make really Kota as a green city, as a model city, totally depending on the green economy, how it can be implemented, who are going to be involved into it. So you know, the interdisciplinary aspects where there the green infrastructure was involved, the renewable energy part was involved, sustainable transportation was involved, water management was involved, waste management was also involved. Actually, Kota was an educational hub, experiencing significant growth and urbanization, but it was still at the same time having very much environmental and social problems. So therefore, government thought that let us take as a under green economic concept if it can be developed. It is not just like a smart city, but it's a green city, something like that. Let's see. Apply the same policies and principles and targets, whatever I have told you. So the outcome of benefit that yes, the environmental improvement has been achieved, economic benefit has been obtained. I don't have time to present you the quantifiable figures. Then the social well-being has been also achieved, and the model it can be taken as a model for other cities. There are project reports and other things are available on this. People are trying to follow this, and government is also trying to put up as an example. So here, similarly, the interdisciplinary nature of work has come. Different teams have worked together, and they have been able to, utilize everything in the way which I have discussed. Now, going back to from the case study to wherever I was there, that in the whole process, we have certain challenges and certain opportunities. Like, the challenge is that the equality concern, every part of the society can ask a question that whether I will be benefited. A person can ask whether I will be benefited. The industry can ask whether I will be benefited. That means they are, in the whole process, the advantage of the benefits should go to everybody, and everybody has to understand that yes, there is an advantage. Then the managing the distributional impacts. That is, that if we are trying to do something, there will be negative impacts, positive impacts, and all that, and the policies will impact something. I mean, that has to be managed somehow. Overcoming technological barriers. So there are certain things like energy storage, carbon capture. These are not tested much, and these will need huge amount of investment and innovation. So those are to be overcome. How it is to be overcome, it is to be seen. These are really challenges. Not everything has been handled or could be handled properly as yet. There's a lot of tasks ahead. And then international cooperation, because they're not that everything can be indigenously done. It has to be seen that what other countries could achieve, which are slightly ahead of us, or whoever can contribute to help us. And then the benefit and long-term impacts are that we have more effective solutions towards the energy transition. We have really more effective solutions that will, at one point of time, we will settle down with the green energy, and we will stay with that. We will be able to reduce the carbon emissions to the atmosphere, the world will cool down one day. Faster innovation, we will do a lot of innovation. There will be a lot of development in terms of new technologies and approaches. Greater social acceptance once benefits start becoming visible, then probably the social acceptance will be there. So that is why I was trying to give you the quota experience. I didn't have much time, otherwise I could have shown you some photographs. Anyway, so social acceptance that way. And then another is the policy should be more robust. And by integrating scientific evidence and with social and economic considerations, interdisciplinary approaches that can help to develop more effective and durable energy policies. Sometimes our policies are, we do implement policies, but at some time policies there are certain weaknesses. People may or may not implement, may say that I could not comply because of that or all that. No. Target is very, very specific. Therefore, this is such a process where we should automatically have a robust principle, or should have the kind of need for a robust policies. So, in a conclusion, I should say that an interdisciplinary approach to sustainable energy transition involves integrating various fields of study to address the complex challenges of moving towards a low carbon energy system. This holistic approach combines technical, economic, social, and environmental perspectives to develop effective and sustainable solutions. By adopting interdisciplinary approaches and integrating diverse perspectives, societies can effectively navigate the complexities of the green economy and achieve a sustainable energy transition for a healthier planet and a more equitable future. And in conclusion, a successful sustainable energy transition requires a comprehensive and integrated approach that draws on expertise and perspectives of multiple disciplines. By fostering collaboration, embracing systematic thinking, and promoting participatory approach, we can accelerate the transition to a lower carbon energy future. Thank you, and that's all from my side.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, Mr. Mukherjee. It was really a wonderful and insightful presentation. So now we'll proceed for a quick question answer session.
Yes,
So
please.
from the participant, if anyone having any questions, kindly unmute your microphone and ask, or else you can put that in the chat box. We have 10 minutes a question answer session. If anyone having any question, kindly ask in chat box, or else you can unmute and ask.
What can be done, because also it's late in the evening, if you have any questions, because you will have questions, may not be readily available, what you can do, possibly your questions you can still send to the WhatsApp group or wherever. I mean, that you can decide, and those questions can come to me. I will work out the answers for those and send to you, so that that can be relayed back to the particular participants. That is also possible if someone is not immediately ready with the question. If there is a question, then of course that can be discussed.
Oh, okay, sir. Okay, sir. So if now anyone having any question, they can ask or put in chat box.
I think there is no question at the moment, so that's okay. That's no problem. I mean, it can be sent later on. There is no problem. If you even receive it at a later date, just send it across to me. I will work out an answer.
Yes, sir. So there is one question, sir, from Manjunath D. Which emerging technologies are most promising for large-scale adoption?
Right. So it is a very interesting question. You see, the most emerging technology. That means you see what is our objective. Our objective is basically to go for a carbon reduction. Now, the quantum reduction in carbon is basically possible from two segments. One is a power generation, another is automobile industry. So therefore, people are trying to go for certain adaptive technologies. So if you say today, if I say that no, most emerging technology is solar and all that, I will not be correct, because that is already an emerged technology. It's not an emerging technology. It is already an emerged technology. So it is already kind of a technology that is already done. But now I think one good point is that because solar is also having its own constraints, because there are a lot of, I do not want to go into that. So therefore, as of now, a carbon-free, which can have a quantum impact on the carbon reduction, I should say, a hydrogen-based system, which either in the power generation, let's say, it has not come into full scale, but in one of the emerging technologies, use of hydrogen in automobiles. Even India is going for a hydrogen-based trains that might come very soon, which will be operated on hydrogen. That is coming. That is being successfully tried. Hydrogen-based fuel, hydrogen-based cars are, commercial vehicles. Those are also there. And then of course, other technologies are of course there, like you can say, one emerging technology, you might say hybrid power generation is also an emerging technology. In some cases, people say that, well, for solar, you have to depend on a part of the time with the daylight basis. So what is going to happen in the evening? You still have a large energy storage and all that. So in that case, people are telling that, okay, fine. If one power stations can have a kind of two part, one is provided the potential is there, solar as well as wind, then maybe because sometimes in some places, some valley region and all that, sometimes on the coastal regions also, daytime there's a very strong solar intensity, and in the evening there is a very strong wind intensity. So therefore you have much better way. Anyway, two more questions have come. One is about the electric vehicle. You see, on electric vehicle, I would say, I understand your question. If you are trying to think in terms of sustainability, I would not say it is not sustainable. It is of course sustainable. But lately, one question is coming that the most vulnerable part are the batteries. Why? Because charging is, of course, is one. The user friendliness is one issue. We need to have much better batteries. The charging requirement must go down and all that. But the space is a limitation, and the battery technology need to be changed. Number one. So there is a challenge there. The other challenge is there. What is going to be done with the wasted batteries? That's also wastage. Can it be recycled, reused, or something like that? So that is a challenge. But I will still say, until and unless, I don't think that way hydrogen can fully replace the electric cars. It will not be cost effective that way. And also from the safety point of view and usability point of view, it can only be linked with the bulk transport, may not be at the retail level. So that way, still, I would say that electric vehicles are still a sustainable solution, but it needs to be looked at from that particular angle. Okay, I think one more question was there. Just let me see. Few more questions have come.
Yes, sir. For next question, can carbon credit system help
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
reduce
yeah, yeah.
carbon emission?
Yes, yes. Of course, carbon credit system helps reduction of much carbon emission because it is already started helping that. Because in that case, that is a kind of incentive, you may say. That is a kind of incentive that one looks for, achieving or obtaining through a better operation. So therefore, if there is an opportunity for carbon credit, people definitely go for a carbon credit, and that kind of benefit from the carbon credit is also acceptable from regulatory point of view. So it definitely would help for a carbon reduction because at times also even the regulators raise questions, or there are even the audits sometimes raise question. I am telling it from my CSC experience that why are we using or not using the carbon credit. So carbon credit comes as a policy matter, and it is indeed several companies have taken advantage out of it, and it is a sustainable one. One question is, how does sustainable agriculture contribute to a green economy? It is definitely very important question. You see, agriculture means you have to see that what are the impacts from the agriculture. You need to see the impacts from the agriculture. That in agriculture, you really don't have. You cannot always say that agriculture contributes to carbon emission that way, but agriculture, of course, it has an indirect impact. If you say that sometime before at certain seasons people go on burning the waste from the agriculture, that is one part, so that needs to be stopped completely. Second is, in the agriculture, the processes can be more improvised, more improved. Because why? Because they are also the use of land, that is very important. The agriculturists, the agricultural sciences must work on more improved manures to see that if not only the fertile land, but even the semi-fertile land or some fallow lands can be also used. So that will save a lot of land, because there are certain wasted lands. Number one. Number two is also plowing and all that. There are certain tractors and other things are used. So that can be also seen if there are any efficient methods. And sometimes they are there for the irrigation and all that. They use the diesel-driven pumps that can be converted into solar pumps. So those things are, of course, there, and it can be. And then the storage and all that, these things for storage also. In some agricultural part, not only the grains and everything, but the other things like the vegetable and all that, they are stored, and you need a lot of power for storing them, because sometimes the cold storage and all that. So there, also that energy efficiency and the kind of efficiency management and all that, and the refrigeration system. So if you really drill down, you will find out a lot of contributing factors, starting from land, starting from irrigation, starting from storage. Everywhere it can contribute, and the agricultural scientists should have a complete relook there also to have an energy saving drive. So 100% it is that it is there is a scope of agricultural, scope of agriculture. One question is that the carbon credit system really a subject. That subject is not well discussed. I agree with you. I really cannot help this particular item because You will, if you search, you may see how it is getting calculated, but who are really going for it or opting for it, or whether they are getting or in exchange of what, how much amount, how the benefit is passed on to the tariff and all that. That's really something which is not an open subject today. So unfortunately, even myself do not have that kind of a database to give an appropriate answer to you. But definitely, I'm preserving this question. I'll explore something more about it, and if I can provide you a structured reply, I'll come back. I'm sorry, I cannot give you a very ready answer to it. And then the next question is, there is a trend regarding AI and space research in this scenario. Green economy is really practical or just theoretical? No, you see, no. I look at it from very different angle. It's a matter of priority, Everything has a priority. The question is that let's segregate all items. 3 elements are there in your question. One is AI, another is space research, another is green economy. Let me address all the points. The question is, if you asked me that can I prioritize between green economy and space research? Well, from my point of view, I am an energy, environment and sustainability advisor. I would say, no, green economy has to be put first. Space research will come next. Probably everybody else will also say that, because I have an issue on survival. And issue on survival, then look at how day by day you have increasing number of diseases, increasing water level everywhere and all that. So therefore, green drive, green economy and everything, if task is the same, that should come on the top of the priority. It should come. But space research will be already there, and few countries who can afford to have a space research, they can still do the space research. AI is a different thing. AI is a tool, you can say, which you can use whatever you want to do. For example, this I'm giving a very immediate example. When I was developing the slides for you, suddenly it stuck up to my mind that it will be very theoretical. It will be very theoretical. So can it be made a little bit more practical? So therefore, this example of Kota city green system. Do you know how I prepared it? I prepared it with the AI mode, and I could prepare 7 slides in almost no time. I just made it in half an hour. So AI is a tool, and AI is a kind of a thing which helps you to do a lot of things. AI will be always part of your site, like computer is a part with you, internet is a part with you. That will remain as a part, and any investment can go side by side. It can also help green economy. It can also help everything in the society. So that will be there. And if people want to investment on AI and do a little bit of more a kind of work on the academics and all that, it is worth. Space research might, I would say, would come after green economy, because green economy is more important. But it is a priority, as I said, it is a priority if some country in green economy has to be put on top of the priority. That is why I said that a global collaboration is necessary. One country just cannot say that, well, I don't care about what is going to happen to the environment. I mean, there will be then certain ban on that country. So that will not happen. So it will be the top. But if they want to side by side do a space research, they can still do a space research. Next question is, because agriculture is backbone of our country, then why asked? That's why I asked once again. Okay. Yeah. Agriculture, yes, that's fine, because agriculture is, of course, definitely the backbone. And whatever, as I said, the contribution of the agricultural part, I told you, yes, if your point is very much right, because agriculture as a very widespread approach in India. Therefore, even if whatever I told you, that, well, you can still use a solar pump, agricultural pump, you can manage energy in the storage of the products and all that. You can more have a efficient, more useful manure, so that in much less number of land you can grow more products. Every element it contributes, and if it is taken nationwide, you never know. I don't have a estimation, but you are very much right. It can have a substantial impact. And that is why you see, that is how the multidisciplinary approaches come. I have not mentioned anywhere in my presentation about the agricultural part, but yes, you are very right in saying so. Even the agricultural aspects also are important here. And if policymakers can think in this way, whatever you have suggested, it's very good. It's very good, definitely very good. Now, will electric vehicle be on the long run, or some substitute will come by applications of AI? See, AI, I would say these are a little bit two different approaches. You see, EV is basically a mode of powering the vehicle, and AI is basically, as I said, managing something. Now, AI can probably make a process more efficient. It can eliminate errors. It can make faster decisions. It can make things more automatic. So that way it might help, but it might not substitute a process by that way. It can make a process more efficient. It can make a process definitely more efficient. So from that point of view, use of AI, for that matter, to any vehicle or whatever, it can still, yes, if you are trying to focus on AI, application of AI, as I said, it can help in many ways. I have told several opportunities where AI can be used. But electric vehicle, I'm also not very sure whether it can really, in that scale, substitution by hydrogen vehicles would be possible or not, because it has not gone to that kind of a break-even point. Even electric vehicles also, I think, having quite a number of charging stations and all that kind of a network, or affordability, that has not yet come. But still, I would say people will still migrate to electric vehicle, and maybe tomorrow you might see that bulk transportation and that might depend on hydrogen, because electric battery operated bulk transport is really not feasible. And maybe at vehicle level, when personal vehicle level, electric vehicle will still continue. That's my feeling. Now, next question is, AI is power hungry. It's because it's of a pollution for new days. USA does not care about that. Not only USA, many more countries is not thinking about the nature. I am not very sure that, as you say, that AI is power hungry. I really do not know much about that. Whether I'm not an AI specialist, by the way, but I would see from it from a very different point of view, because yes, AI is a process. Definitely, AI is a process, and if you say it is a process, then a process will have a power consumption. A process will have certain negative impacts also. But we have to compare it to the benefits of the AI in terms of any improvements being achieved with the help of the AI. That has to be benchmarked with that kind of thing, meaning that when I am using an AI to a certain application, what benefits I am having, whether that benefit can offset the hazards of using AI. That is to be taken. But these are very good points. I mean, these are very good points. I mean, one should look at. Definitely, I will share all your suggestions that the agricultural impact or AI impacts. I'll share this with the other faculties and in different associations that I come up from. So that it has to be thought also that a viability in the application of AI should also take care of this. Thank you very much for mentioning this.
Sir, one question is it possible of really green economy?
You have no other option. You really have no other option. It looks like very theoretical. I will not say that 100% success will be achieved, but we have to try. I told you also the difficulties. I have tried to give you a very realistic picture. But not for all countries it is possible. For smaller countries, like Germany or some countries, they totally stopped power generation from coal. But then, because again, the certain international issues, like unavailability of gas and all that, they have to again restart their coal areas. Similarly, countries like India and China, so much populated, so many people are engaged there in the fossil fuel power stations and the coal mines. Switching over by 2045 to a zero carbon stage, as mandated by the Prime Minister, it will be very, very difficult. It will be very, very difficult. But whatever I told you, all the steps I have mentioned, just go back to my slides and you will see that the possible approaches I have tried to mention, those are necessary to do it. But if you ask me, completely as a common man, if you ask me this question, I would say it's extremely difficult to achieve 100% green economy. But let us keep a target. That's all. If 2045 is a target, let's keep that target. And if the target slips, let it slip to few years, not much. But even then, it will be achieved. We only let's hope for that and try to achieve that, and see whatever best we can. There will let the scope of improvement remain always there. Let there be an attempt to reach 100%, like that.
Thank you so much, sir, for answering this all question. One last question from my side, sir. What role can green hydrogen play in India's transition to a low carbon economy? And sir, is there an initiative by government to promote this production, sir?
Yes, very, very important question. Very, very important question. I have not touched upon green hydrogen because it's a subject by itself. Maybe it will need one more session to discuss, but I will briefly try to answer your question. See, first of all, a green hydrogen production is not difficult. It is possible. In Indian context, it has been already thought, and it does not need a very huge infrastructure. What it really needs is basically, you can understand that hydrogen involves it's an element by way automatically. Whenever you say hydrogen, it involves a lot of risk. So therefore, probably more work is necessary towards the technology for it. That is, even if we go on a large scale, we should have appropriate technology. Like one particular point of time when we are thinking of nuclear power, was not it risky? I have also personally worked in at least 4 or 5 nuclear power stations. It was definitely risky, but in India has nuclear power stations. Similarly, even Bangladesh is going to have a nuclear power station. People are adopting that. Hydrogen, by the way, is not that risky, but the technology is definitely important. Two ways. Firstly, to make it more affordable. Again, I'm telling that green hydrogen and all that does not need a very huge infrastructure or does not need a very huge investment. All it needs an appropriate manageable technology with protection, safety management, and transportability. These are certain issues to be kept in mind. The government is really working on it very, very seriously. And it is like this, that the mandates are like this, that the green hydrogen application will not come down to a very, a kind of a retail level so fast. It will be only taken for use in specific applications like transport. That kind of infrastructure and technological support is coming from government. Second is, in few cases where alternative generation modes are not available, in those cases, hydrogen is also becoming a solution. And most, I would say, the better potential for having hydrogen is, in my presentation, I was just mentioning at one point of time that there will be, once the fossil fuel older power stations are closed down and the assets are reutilized somewhere else, then those places will be vacant. So what is the planning about that? That in those places, you may have a grid substation or a kind of a smart grid facility installed over there, or you can also have a hydrogen generation facility installed there. So it's a replacement. But again, I'm telling you, the hydrogen generation cannot be very high capacity. It has to be segmental. In the very long run, what you may say that when I don't know that much of time I do not have, but I'm trying to tell you the future planning is that when we will be only depending on very minimal fossil fuel, and mostly we will have kind of renewable power stations, and few power stations you will still need power generating facilities. You will still need near to the load center for having the peak management, which previously used to be done by the gas turbine power projects in different countries. And India, unfortunately, could not have that kind of a load center based gas turbine power stations to manage the peak loads, so that in the evening, if there is a peak and then you have no solar or no less storage over there, and you do not want to ramp up your power stations, then you can still have hydrogen generation. And hydel power is not also that much popular in India everywhere. So that kind of scenario is going to be there. So partly power generation, partly transport, and not much to retail level is the target for India at the moment. That much I can tell at the moment.
Thank you so much, sir. It was really enriching and really for this informative session. And sir, there are a lot of questions, and you have answered all the queries very efficiently and very nicely, sir. So thank you so much for your time and effort. Thank you so much, sir.
And I also appreciated a few of the questions, and I am sure whatever ideas were given to me through those questions, I appreciate, and those will be passed on to the appropriate authorities. Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much, sir. So now we'll conclude this session at the day 3. Thank you so much to our speakers and all the participants for making today's session so meaningful. And we look forward to tomorrow's discussion on wind energy systems and smart grid integration. So again, thank you all. Goodbye and good night to everyone. See you tomorrow. Thank you so much, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, sir.
Good night.